Due to tensions between Russia and Ukraine, NATO warships have increased their presence and exercises in the Black Sea, including member states that have no coastline in the sea. In 2021, NATO ships spent 226 days in Black Sea. Ukrainian experts see NATO as the only possible defense against Russian aggression, the KRYM, Realii, Crimean Realities, website reports. They believe that a NATO Black Sea fleet is needed to guard the maritime space all year round, based in Constanta, Romania, open to non-NATO members like Ukraine and Georgia. The French Navy deployed the D-654 FS Auvergne, a Frem-class frigate, in the Black Sea a couple of weeks ago, the 31st NATO warship to visit in 2021. Its presence sparked a strong reaction from Russia, whose National Defense Control Center announced that the Russian Black Sea Fleet was tracking the movements of the French ship. The Kremlin's reaction to the arrival of new Western ships is now routine, not only because they keep coming, but also because they are staying longer. Andriy Klemenko, director of Ukraine's Black Sea Institute for Strategic Studies and editor-in-chief of Black Sea News, the Kremlin's reaction should not raise too many concerns. At this point in time, it is understandable. This is an immediate response to the pressure from Russia on Ukraine, a pattern that has been going on for more than 7 years now. 4 of the last 5 ships to enter the sea are US, the other is French. They arrived in all probability due to the escalation of the Russian-Ukrainian conflict. It is very good that both ships and financial resources have been found, because this is not cheap, Klemenko notes. Indeed, there is great concern over possible Russian military actions at the start of the new year, and NATO visits could at least delay these threats. U.S. Arleigh Burke-class destroyers each carry more than 90 missiles, and it is clear that the Russian response to their presence is very negative. Russia's nervous reaction is based on a clear calculation that an escalation of the conflict, planned or accidental, would be unsustainable for Russian forces. If the Russians managed to hit a NATO ship with anti-missile ships, this would be a direct attack on NATO, and would trigger a defense mechanism by all the countries of the alliance. Still, Ukrainian analysts fear a possible Russian blitz during the Christmas and New Year holidays. For them, the arrival of the French frigate is extremely important. In December, Russia intensified its maritime exercises in the area, hindering civil and commercial navigation. Its ships moved ever closer to the Ukrainian coast, ports and maritime sources of natural gas, but also Georgian waters and the Bosporus. This increases the likelihood of an armed clash, even accidental, in the Black Sea and the Sea of Azov. How the US could help prevent the Russia-Ukraine crisis from morphing into war. After Russia precipitated a crisis by amassing upward of 100,000 troops around Ukraine, the standoff was only expected to intensify. The prevailing assumption was that Russian President Vladimir Putin would maintain the pressure in order to retain leverage as American and Russian officials prepare for their January 10 talks in Geneva. Then a sliver of good news seemed to appear when Putin was reported to have ordered an estimated 10,000 of those troops back to their bases in southern Russia on Saturday. These media accounts are in dispute. If true, the move could be a gesture acknowledging President Biden's decision to defer the planned $200 million weapons package to Ukraine, shipments of small arms and ammunition aside. Even if the pullback did occur, Putin still has plenty of forces deployed near Ukraine, so the crisis continues. 2 of the various recent proposals aimed at preventing an armed confrontation between Russia and Ukraine stand out, even though neither will resolve the crisis. The first advocates beefing up Ukraine's army with substantial supplies of American weaponry, particularly anti-tank and air defense missiles, and dispatching additional advisors to ensure that Ukrainian soldiers are ready to use the armaments in short order. Here's an extravagant version of this idea. A massive airlift like the one the United States started in 1948 to ensure the flow of basic necessities to West Berlin after the Soviet leadership blocked the transportation routes connecting it to the West. Those demanding additional American arms be dispatched to Ukraine insist that Putin will be deterred only when he's convinced that the West will stand by it. This formula doesn't amount to a comprehensive settlement of the Russia-Ukraine dispute, but it could give each side something to tout as success while tamping down the immediate crisis.